I'm going to talk about 10 facts about the roaring 1920s. Immigration. In the 1914, World War One had begun with the Allied powers against the Central Powers. Many Southern and Eastern Europeans feared the war upcoming, so they immigrated to the U.S. A huge influx of immigration started to brew in the U.S., which triggered the rise of racism and nativism, which was a way for Americans to discriminate against immigrants. Sacco Vanitesi case reflected the prejudices and fears of the 1920s after World War One. The case is about two Italian immigrants, Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, were arrested by the police, were charged on the robbery and the murder of two employees in the shoe factory. The arrest of two immigrants was unjust and even the evidence was questionable. But even so, the jury concluded they were guilty because of the evidence, and even more because they were anarchists and immigrants. Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was one of the most important American authors during the early 1920s. His theme when writing his books about the meaning of life during a time filled with violence. His simple and direct style from journalism. His main characters engaged in war or violent adventure, like hunting or bullfighting. The main character's stories faced his challenges with strong personal code of courage, professionalism, and skill. He gave hope in times of violence when gangs and crime ruled cities. Radio industry. The radio industry became a huge communication industry with the help of American engineer Edwin Armstrong invented a special circuit that made it practical to transmit sound through long-range radios. Many of the radios were used in advertising and hired musicians, actors, and comedians, even in presidential election campaigns. Popular culture. And economic prosperity and new technology gave Americans an incentive to spend more money, even more after the end of World War One. More Americans started to have more leisure time and began to enjoy music, dance, sports, and theater, which is shown in silent films like Charlie Chaplin, which became a huge success for entertainment. Later, and in the top were baseball and boxing. Baseball star Babe Ruth became a national hero by hitting hundreds of home runs. Another star is the boxer James Dempsey, who won the world heavyweight champion but lost it to Gene Duty. With the help of radio industry, the rematch of Dempsey to take back his championship made Star Radios sell almost 90,000 worth of radios. Urban freedom. With new technologies and economic wealth spreading, the growth of cities started to become apparent. There came also the construction of boarding house and residential hotels. The young adults' freedom to live outside their tradition, family structure, and growing cities. Although American farmers did not share the huge prosperity that was in the 1920s, they did receive new technologies such as fertilizers and machinery. Prohibition. A movement to ban alcohol sales grew stronger in the early 1900s. Mostly wives of men and people tried to move the movement to prohibit alcohol to reduce unemployment, domestic violence, and poverty. With the 18th Amendment, which made a dramatic increase in federal police powers since they can enforce prohibition. Managerial revolution. In the early 1920s, many companies started to create modern organizational construction. Companies split decisions into functions such as sales, marketing, and accounting. The managers were helpful in running and freeing executives owners from day to day. The large number of new managers helped expand the middle class, adding to the nation's prosperity. The new developments, business organization helped generate business profit and improve the nation's standard of living. And then the return of the Ku Klux Klan. The group that most wanted to restrict immigration was the Ku Klux or KKK. The old KKK began in the South after the Civil War and used threats and violence to intimidate newly freed African Americans. They targeted Catholics, Jews, immigrants, and other groups said to be un American. In the Klan, its nativist goals as a danger to individual liberty. Klan membership began to decline in the late 1920s due to scandals and power struggles among its leaders. In addition, new restriction or immigration deprived the Klan of one of its major issues.